So you want to learn a backflip? You've probably seen this video, and this video, I don't know, maybe even this video. Well, I'm going to show you my video. That is the cringiest thing ever. I'm going to show you the ultimate backflip tutorial. So if you've never done anything like this before, we're going to just begin by warming up and mobilizing our joints so that we don't injure ourselves, because I mean, let's face it, if you injure yourself, you're not going to be trying this again for a good while. But it's always good to touch your toes, stretches along the back. Right, we're going to talk about what actually is a backflip. In principle, a backflip literally is just going over your head backwards. There's no beating around the bush. That's what it is. That's what it feels like. It's the equivalent to going on the roller coaster for the first time, and you reach the top, and then you get that. You're going to have a moment of hesitation before it. Everyone will. You're going to probably do this a lot.
Holy. No.
But that's alright. I was the same. This happened. This happened.
Oh my god.
And I mean, this also happened. And at that point, I already could backflip. So, over time, the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. Once you do it once, drill it. Drill it so many times, because whenever you're in the state of, I know I can do it, just keep doing it, because then it builds something in your head that passes the mental block of going backwards. Plus, you'll get physically used to how it feels, and you'll gain more air awareness. But let's stop with all the philosophy and all this blah blah blah. Let's actually get into how we're going to backflip. I personally would advise, if you have a trampoline, please try it on the trampoline first. Let's go to the trampoline. But if you don't have a trampoline, doesn't mean you can't learn it. Skip to this part of the video, and this is solely for ground. But I personally would advise watching the trampoline section too, because I'm going to talk about a few principles and things that you have to do, or methods to warm up and get your head around how you're going to actually do the backflip. Let's go. With regards to this video, no, this video was a screen recording I had on my phone from whenever I learned how to backflip. This video is no longer on YouTube, which kinda sucks. From what you saw in the previous video, begin by lying down on your back and rolling forwards and backwards, gathering enough momentum to get you to your feet. Whenever all of the energies in your feet, begin straightening your legs and gradually kicking over. Add more of a jump each time, and take things at your own pace. Keep repeating until you can explode your legs super duper straight and kick right over. It should look like this. Whenever you do that, you can gradually kick up over, which is really, really useful, because you can take things at your own pace. Plus, you don't have to worry about banging your back or anything, because you're on a trampoline. It's a win-win. Why wouldn't you use this? Oh. So, you're going to stand. Preferably when you do a backflip, you'd want to land, you'd want to begin and land on the same spot. See, I landed on my Berg logo. Do it this way. Dead center Berg logo. Jump up. Landing back on the Berg. You're gonna have moments like this. It's normal, but you can reduce the risk of doing that by building yourself up to a backflip. So if you stand in your trampoline, whenever I was learning it, I was always scared of falling off. If you've got a net, use a net, but I was always very scared of falling off. Whoa. whenever I did a backflip. So for me, I took a step closer to the front because I knew I would be traveling backwards. But I'm still landing on the trampoline. I'm not going on the trampoline. I'm still on the trampoline. So if that works for you, take a step forward to the front of the trampoline so you know that you've got lots of safe trampoline to land on behind you. So your arms are going to go out in front of you. You're going to bend your knees only this much. After you go even further down, you're just going to end up using more power to get back up straight. Plus, you have a trampoline. Just bounce. Just bounce. So whenever you're bouncing nice and high, nice and high. The higher you bounce, the more airtime you have. And with the more airtime, the more time you have to rotate. Doesn't matter how fast you rotate. Doesn't matter how slow you rotate. If you jump high enough, you're gonna have enough time. You're gonna bend your arms, swing them straight up, jump, spring everything straight up. And when I say straight up, I mean straight up. I don't mean lean backwards. I mean dead straight up in the air. And then from there, you're gonna bring your legs, curl them up, and because your body naturally bends backwards, because whenever I bend my legs, I'm gonna naturally rotate backwards. I'm gonna jump straight up as high as I can, bring my knees up to my head, grab my knees, and if you just jump and pull your legs apart, essentially, if you think about it, imagine you had a pencil and you were flipping your pencil backwards. Is it going to be easier to rotate backwards like this, or is it going to be easier to spin like this? It's going to take less effort the longer it is, because you can spin it super fast. If you hold it in between your hands and just go, it's going to spin like mad. But if you hold it this way, it's going to take a lot longer to spin. So whenever you jump up and you tuck, if you pull your legs apart, essentially you're becoming that pencil or straw. But don't jump up like this. Don't jump up like this. Bring it up into a ball and then pull apart. How do you begin going backwards? Well, you're going to stand on the trampoline, preferably at the front for you. You're just going to jump and fall backwards. That's all. Just do it over and over. Jump, fall backwards. The more you do it, the more confident you'll become, and the higher you can jump and do the same thing. Jump higher, land your back. Jump higher, land your back. I'm already going pretty far back, so whenever you gain the confidence to jump as high as you can and land on your back, you're ready for part 2. At this point, I want you, if you've got bed covers, a duvet, teddies, cushions, anything soft, pile it on the trampoline. Just pile it on the trampoline. Because now you've got a personalised foam pit. Not only does your foam sit on your trampoline, but your foam is whatever you want it to be. It could be teddy. I mean, listen, if you want to put Lego on it and hook a backflip, feel completely free. I'm just advising a teddy because it's nice and soft, So whenever you've got your cushions on the trampoline, and you're going to stand over here, have a look behind you. Do the same thing. Jump up, land your back. Take a nice few bounces up straight in the air, as high as you can. And then go to your back. Nice bounces. Land your back. And then work yourself up mentally. Because you're physically ready to do a backflip. Work yourself up mentally. And say, I'm going to do it. I know I can. I know you can. You're jumping high enough. You're jumping to your back. There's no fear there. It's just that fear of going that extra bit over your head. If you swing your arms as hard as you can, bring your legs up as hard as you can, and just say, whatever happens, happens, you're going to go over. You're going to land in your foam, not your foam, your teddies, or your cushions, and it's going to be nice and soft. You're not going to hurt yourself. And then you're going to be like, oh my god, I just did it. And then you're going to do it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And you're going to drill it over and over and over until you can do it consistently all the time.
When attempting for the first time, if you keep your legs together, it will be a lot easier to do. Don't split them apart just like this. Try to keep them together.
Oh my god, I landed it. Oh my god, I landed it. Jump higher. Oh my god, I landed it. And now you're ready for the next step. Taking it to grass. Or concrete if you're dangerous. Preferably grass, please, please. Please go to grass, it's nice and soft, hopefully. So what you're gonna do, I've been telling you to jump as high as you can. You've got more time in the air. But on the grass isn't bouncy. So you can't use those extra jumps to get more height progressively. You've got to do it in the one jump. You've only got one jump. In order to mimic this on the trampoline, we're going to stand dead center and we're going to jump from stationary. We're going to try not to do this and get extra bounces. We're just going to do it from stationary. You can build yourself up to it by taking less bounces, just little pulses. Just look, little tiny pulses, barely even moving. And I'm going to jump, and I'm going to throw the exact same backflip. With your teddies if you want, without your teddies if you want, whatever you feel like.
Notice how I progressively jump and pulse less and less throughout these next few clips, getting lower to the trampoline each time, therefore spending less time in the air. Try to remain completely stationary. Bring your arms all the way back so that you can explosively swing them upwards, helping you to give height and rotation to your backflip. Then, curl your legs upwards towards your chest. Try not to bring your chest down to your knees, but instead bring your knees up to your chest. Then pull them tight into a tuck before pulling them outwards to help speed up your rotation. Spot the trampoline and try to land. Repeat over and over until this is comfortable and requires very little to no bounce at all. In this last clip I barely jumped just to show you that you can get fully around without bouncing whatsoever without a high jump. You don't need a high jump to do a backflip on the ground, but it will make it easier.
Once you know for certain there's practically no bounce whatsoever, I would say you're ready. However, depending on how you feel and whether you feel comfortable, if you walk over to the springs, as long as you know you're going backwards and you've got a net, don't be doing this like me. I've done it for a year, 2 years. You've got the tiniest bit of bounce ever, look. And then from there, you're going to do the same thing, just one backflip, and then you know you can do it. You definitely can do it on the ground, because if I'm standing on the springs, I'm not getting any of the bounce of the other springs, just those couple of springs that I'm standing on. So I'm going to walk over, I'm going to stand on the edge, I'm not going to go forward. Preferably do it with a net, please. Don't do it like me. I've got no net on. Listen, I've done it for 3 years, it is fine. But because you haven't done it before, if you've got a net, use a net. Now, you're ready for the ground. Let's go. So we're back on the ground. We've just came off the trampoline. We sort of know what we're doing. We've done it a few times on the trampoline. We can do it. We've done it to the point where we're comfortable. We've done it to the point where there's no hesitation. We've done it to the point where we don't have to bounce. We're doing it from standing. So we're wanting to take it on the ground. I'm going to play a few clips of what I did, how I learnt it. I had a few mats stacked up and literally a couple of cushions. I didn't have any massive mattresses. I mean, if you've got a mattress, go for it, as long as your parents are okay with it. Or if it's a spare mattress, even better. An old mattress that's being chucked out, use that. I used 4 cushions off of an old sofa that got thrown out, and I kept those cushions. Were they the safest? I mean, yeah. I didn't hurt myself. Here's what my setup had looked like. Over time, I removed a layer of the mats because then I had to jump more, and I also had to rotate quicker in order to get around. And then I skipped a step. I didn't keep removing layers. I got to the point where I just said, "You know what? I'm just going to take it to the ground and huck it." Whenever I threw it, I landed. And I was so psyched. It was on the 1st of July. I remember posting it directly to my Instagram straight afterwards. This is the clip.
Go.
You're looking to learn how to backflip, not me. You. Let's go.
Same thing as before the trampoline. Move your body about, just get used to some movement so that you don't hurt yourself, mobilise your joints, etc. Then just practice jumping on the spot. Bringing your hands all the way back. Only bend your knees this much, because any more than this, you're really not getting anything out of it. And in fact, it's making your backflip even harder to do, because you're using more energy to get those legs fully straight from further down, whereas you can just squat less and have the exact same explosive power. If you're explosive with it, it will make it 10 times, not even 10 times, bro. It will just make it easier. It will make it easier. So do everything nice and explosive. Swing your arms around in a nice big arc, subsequently beginning your rotation and also simultaneously giving you height. Also, a very, very, very common mistake that people do is they just explode their legs straight from their knee and they don't actually use their toes. If you straighten your foot down and spring your toes up at the exact same time, you'll get so much more height rather than just trying to jump flat-footed. Point those toes, get them all exploded, and through using your toes, you're going to get more height, as we can see from this comparison.
Now what happens after the jumps? Well, you're going to bring your knees up to your chest. A mistake every single person does, even me, every single person does when they're learning a backflip is they lean back. I promise you, if you just jump straight up, think about it. If I jump straight up, I've got more height. I'm in the air for longer, and therefore I've more time to rotate. Lots of people cut their height off completely and lean straight back like this. Even me.
Yes.
What you should try to do instead is jump as straight up as you can. Maybe a slight lean back, but try to with the arm swing. With your arm swing, your arms are going to be the thing to bring you backwards. Your arms are going to cause the rotation. So if you focus your legs for the jump and your arms for the rotation backwards, you've got yourself a backflip, essentially. So rather than doing this, try doing this.
Look forward for as long as possible before tucking.
It probably wasn't the cleanest, probably wasn't the most vertical one I've ever done, but you can see the difference. Surely, hopefully. You better see the difference. Now, you've jumped. You've brought your legs up. You're going backwards over your head. Now it's the landing. It's okay if you land hands and feet, because as long as you're going over your head, then you can drill it, and then you can get more strong. You can jump up higher, you can rotate quicker, and then you can land on your feet. If you just stand here and you were to lean straight back over your head, there'll come a point where you see directly behind you. Because if I'm looking at you, I can see my socks, and I can see the sun. I can see my house over there. I can even see that tree over there, just by looking at you. So whenever I lean straight back over my head, I can see that hedge. And then just after that hedge is the grass. So practically, the second you jump and the second you lean back, you can already see the ground. You've already seen the ground. So you're going to be jumping up, then you'll see the ground. All you got to do is land. So I bend my knees 45 degrees. I swing my arms back. I explode up, pointing those toes too. I lean back. I bring my knees up to my chest. I see the ground. I land. And then I scream, "Yeah, I've done a backflip. Mommy, look." The higher you jump up, you will jump up higher if you look out in front of you for as long as possible. Look at this clip. Versus look at this clip. Which did I jump up higher in? Which did I look forward in? Which backflip looked better? You see, the key to a backflip is jumping higher. You can do a backflip, but it's the quality of your backflip that you'll be looking for. A good tip too would be take your phone or your shoes and place them in line with your feet so that you can see if you're moving backwards or if you're staying on the same spot.
I'm moving backwards.
And that, my friends, is your backflip tutorial.